You know, I don't understand why they're still playing the sounds of the ocean when we're inside the interior of the mansion. I mean, right now we're looking at the portrait of Beatrice. But then again, I guess it's because we're still accustomed to the previous two menus prior to the change. And as late as it is, guys, welcome back to more Umineko. We're currently learning more about Ange's side of her story, or at least her backstory, prior to her even coming into the present as we are now. And she had a pretty unpleasant childhood, which is not all that surprising. So we're going to continue on from there, so I hope you all continue to enjoy. Thank you all for the love and support, and let's get right back to it. Alright everyone, and we are back. I may have lived in a gorgeous mansion and been dressed in expensive clothes, but in my heart and my dignity were being trampled upon, and I was the Ushinomiya family's slave, its cattle. Compared to the lifestyle, the derisive laughter of my classmates here even felt refreshing. It was no match for my heart. After filling in almost all of the fields of the questionnaire with nothing in particular, I folded it up and put it in my pocket. Because if I left it in the desk, I might lose it again. After dropping it off in the box in the student council room during lunch break, I finished lunch by myself as usual and headed behind the school building where no one was around. Man, I really feel bad for her, man. They really isolated her. Including Aunt Ava. Only the time I spent by myself could protect me from the derisive laughter and the whispered comments. Since I was hated and didn't have a single friend, my time alone was the most kind to me. After checking the surrounding bushes to see whether some malicious classmates were hiding and threatening my time of quiet, I finally relaxed the tension from my entire body, knowing that I had gained some true peace. Then, I let out a sigh. It lingered, heavy, as though it was the first time I had breathed out today. My previous favorite place behind the vegetable garden storehouse had been found out by my classmates, and now they would mess with me there, so this was my new lunchtime hideaway. There was nowhere to sit behind the school building. I crouched down against the wall in the shadow of the bushes, opened my bag, and took out a book with an elaborate old-fashioned binding. Just glancing at it, you would probably think it was a religious book written in the Middle Ages or something. But this isn't a book. It's a diary. Of course, it's not my diary. There aren't any special things worth writing about in my daily life. Every single day is just gray, cold, and dry. When nothing changes from day to day, there aren't any notable changes worth writing down. This is the diary of Maria and Ange, who I had been very good friends with. She was 3 years older than me and a bit of a funny person, but One-chan was always a warm, wonderful cousin. She would always grab me by the hand and invite me to play some fun game. I remember that getting to see her was the most enjoyable thing about family gatherings. Though I prefaced this with, for an elementary schooler, the handwriting that greeted me when I opened the diary was fairly accomplished. And while admittedly it had been written using every other line, the pages were dense with text. Was she just hopelessly obsessed with jotting everything down in her diary? Probably not. To her, writing her daily life down in a diary was probably like having a conversation with another part of herself. So rather than a journal in which the events of her day were simply listed, Maria and Ange's diary was written like a letter to another Maria, telling her of the events of that day. That assessment wouldn't be too far off, actually. I had found this diary among her belongings after her death and had secretly taken it home. At first, I had felt that reading someone else's diary might be boorish and had been satisfied to just keep it by my side. But I was unable to resist turning over a page or two, and slowly, but surely, I found myself reading through it. And now, she had become my only friend. I gently opened to the page with the bookmark.
マリアお姉ちゃん、お待たせ。また、お姉ちゃんのお話を聞かせて。
At the same time, a very, very soft breeze blew, tickling the pages, and I thought the open diary might have sparkled faintly. The weather is good today. Maria and Ange loves wonderful rays of sunlight, so I'm sure she's in a good mood. On the open diary, no, in the world of the diary Maria and Ange showed herself. She had been 9, I believe, when she died, so her appearance was already younger than mine. But I call her One-chan, and in turn she fondly calls me just Ange.
おう。エンジ、今日は来るのが遅かった。お昼混んでた？うん。いつも混んでるわ。仲良しグループたちが席を陣取ってる上に、食事を終えた後も席を塞ぎ続けてるから。食堂に行くのが遅くなると致命的ね。今日は片付けの当番だったから。マリア、ご飯食べるの早い。早く食べ終わるとその分いっぱい遊べるな。
Maybe she noticed that I was still bitter about how that duty had been forced upon me, shortening my lunch break by a bit. Maria and Ange brightly changed the subject. Grateful for that consideration, I responded that I eat slowly. Maria said something about how she'd teach me the trick of eating fast and cheered me up. I read it in the diary. No, I heard it from Maria and Ange. She was once ranked number 1 among the girls in the speed eating leaderboard in her grade's newspaper. She had been very proud of that, but had apparently been a little disappointed that her mother, Auntie Rosa, hadn't praised her very much for it.
じゃあ、今日のお話を始めるね。昨日はどこまでお話をしたかな？ここまでよ。マリアお姉ちゃんが、サクタロウをプレゼントしてもらったところまで、サクタロウの話を聞かせてくれる約束になってたわ。サクタロウのこと話すよ。サクタロウはね、とっても可愛いぬいぐるみなの。エンジェもきっと気に入るよ。うん。そのお話を聞かせて、マリアお姉ちゃんにお話を聞かせてもらえる昼休みだけが、学校で一番心を許せる時間だもの。マリア話す。サクタロウはね、
Watching Maria and Ange, who's always in a good mood, makes my heart feel warm as well. As I listen to her tale, I begin to get absorbed into her world.
Happy birthday, Maria! ごめんね、帰りが遅くなって。
Are we reading a story within a story? Or in Storyception again?
ママもお仕事お疲れ様。マリア、ママが忙しいの知ってるから、遅くなっても泣かないで待ってた。おとなしくテレビ見て待ってた。
うん。マリアは偉いわね。お行儀よく待ってたご褒美に、今日は何でも好きなものを注文していいわよ。もちろん、食べきれる分だけだけどね。
今日はコーンスープをオニオングラタンスープに変えてもいい？
ええ、いいわよ。
200円高くなるけど、プロシュートピッツァに変えてもいい？
ええ、いいわよ。本当に食べられるならね。でも、いっか。誕生日だしね。ちゃんとお行儀よく待ってたいい子のマリアにご褒美もないとね。
じゃあ、デザートにエンチェラードチーズケーキもつけていい？あとね、シェフの気まぐれフルーツサラダにキッズフライドポテト。メロンソーダも飲みたい。マリアはいい子、ママに褒められた。
ちょっとはしゃぎすぎよ。もう少し静かにしないと、他のお客さんに迷惑よ。
When Rosa gently admonished her, Maria stuck her tongue out and eased up a little. But it seemed that she was having a hard time repressing her excitement at being able to eat out with her mother again after such a long time. Today was Maria's birthday. Rosa always spent Maria's birthday at a wonderful restaurant. When Maria had still been in kindergarten, they had sometimes invited other kids from the neighborhood over and had a party at home. Rosa would make a wonderful cake and homemade sweets and decorate the house herself, making it a huge celebration. But after they moved and Maria no longer had any friends in the neighborhood, Rosa had started splurging at expensive restaurants instead. However, today they were instead in a normal family restaurant. It was also a little late in the day for a kid like Maria to eat there, even with a parent. Rosa had actually gotten reservations at a fantastical place that Maria would absolutely have loved. Of course, she had also prepared a wonderful cake with Maria's name written on it. But Rosa just hadn't been able to finish up her work and had been forced to cancel. We're getting Ange with a terrible childhood, and also Rosa and Maria suffering. It's nothing new, but you get to see more in-depth look as to how their lives were prior to them visiting the island in Rokenjima. And it still wasn't as good. Since that had turned into a local family restaurant, Rosa felt a little indebted to Maria. So she prepared to spoil Maria a bit and let her have whatever she wanted tonight.
マリアお姉ちゃんってあんまり食べないんじゃなかった？こんなに頼んで大丈夫なの？あんまり食べられないけど、いっぱい並ぶのが好きなの。お誕生日のテーブルはね、赤、青、緑に黄色、いっぱい色とりどりだと幸せになれるの。そうね。お誕生日のテーブルってカラフルだと幸せな気持ちになれるわね。うちの誕生日はマリアお姉ちゃんのところにはだいぶ負けるけど、駅前のケーキ屋さんで買ってくるケーキがいつもとても華やかだったっけ。
Ange thought back to her own birthdays nostalgically. Even though Dad was busy, he sometimes came home just to show up at my birthday party and then went right back to his company. I was sad at the time, but now I understand how important I was to Dad. Of course, Mom also took very good care of me. In particular, she always had a really good sense in birthday presents, and sometimes arranged for them several months in advance. Even though we always sent an invitation to Battler Onichan, he didn't get along with Dad or something, so he didn't always come. So when he did come, I was really happy. The birthday parties when the whole 4-person family was together made for fun memories that I will never forget.
おー、エンジェのお誕生日もとても楽しそうだね。バトラとルドルフおじさんがすごく賑やか。わいわいキャッキャ。あ、バトラジュースかけられてる。
Maria and Ange peeked into my happy memory. It's kind of embarrassing looking at myself sitting quietly there, wearing the origami helmet that Dad had made as a party trick. In my hand was a paper gun that Battler Onichan had folded for me, and Mom was taking a commemorative photo. It was the happiest moment of my life.
でも、マリアお姉ちゃんの誕生日だって負けてないよ。それで、今日もらえるんでしょ？サク太郎は。すっごく楽しみだった。ママのカバンの脇にあるプレゼントの包みを早く見せてもらえないかなとずっとワクワクしてた。
Sakutarou is the name of the stuffed animal that Maria Onechan was to receive as a present today. For quite a long time, Auntie Rosa had been making a stuffed animal to give to her as a birthday present today. It was apparently to be a cute lion stuffed animal, and Maria Onechan had already given it to the name Sakutarou even though she hadn't received it yet. Today she was looking forward to meeting Sakutarou even more than celebrating her own birthday. Auntie Rosa ran a clothing design company. It did actually seem to have a brand name too for what it's worth. I think it was called Auntie Rosa in English. The slogan was supposedly, "I can't forgive the way I was before today." Unfortunately, I never met anyone who knew of that brand name. Maybe it wasn't that famous. So in any case, Auntie was pretty skilled with her hands. I heard that some of the clothing she wears she made herself, so making a stuffed animal had to be well within her capabilities.
手作りのぬいぐるみなんてちょっと素敵。ところで、サク太郎って名前、どういう意味でつけたの？本当はサクラってつけたかった。でも、オスライオンのぬいぐるみだから男の子の名前にしなさいって言われたの。だから男の子っぽく太郎を加えてサク太郎。最後の「う」はいつの間にかなくなっちゃった。なんでサクラなの？テレビアニメの主人公の名前。
There was apparently a popular anime at the time whose main character was a girl called Sakura. Are they talking about Cardcaptor Sakura, maybe? The fact that she simply borrowed the name of a character she liked was, how should I say it, as innocent and cute as you'd expect from her age. That was a great series too. I liked it.
Mama! サクタロウまだサクタロウも一緒にお誕生日混ぜてあげたい。
プレゼントはいつも最後でしょ。今広げると汚しちゃうわよ。食事が終わるまで我慢しなさい。
じゃあ早く食事を終わらす。
As soon as she proclaimed that, she started tearing into her meal. Auntie Rosa scolded her, telling her not to make a scene. It seemed that she had seen it coming immediately. I've been thinking that if I were as straightforward as Maria and Ange, that would probably be exactly what I would do as well. So it brought a kind of warm smile to my face when my expectations weren't betrayed. In the end, Auntie Rosa succumbed to her daughter's eyes sparkling with anticipation, cleaned up the table, and took out the long-awaited wrapped present.
ハッピーバースデー、マリアなかなか時間が取れなくて、あまり上手に作れなかったんだけど。
ママの手作りなら何でも嬉しい。サクタロウ、サクタロウ。
Auntie Rosa spoke slightly humbly, but Maria and Ange was ecstatic even before opening the wrapping. I could really understand that feeling. It's not a matter of quality. Just the fact that it was handmade present was more pleasing than anything.
開けてもいい？開けてもいい？
本当はお家に帰ってからにしてほしいんだけど、ちょっとだけよ。ちょっと見て挨拶したら一度しまうのよ。ちゃんと挨拶するのはお家に帰ってからにするのよ。ここはお外なんだからはしゃいじゃダメよ。約束できる？
約束する。だから開けてもいい？開けてもいい？ママ。
はいはい。ちょっとだけよ。
Before Auntie Rosa finished her sentence, Maria and Ange started unwrapping the present. And straight away, yellow and orange peeked out. That thing looks like Kiroberos anyway. What appeared was a slightly blank-looking stuffed lion, with cute round eyes and a cute white chest. It was about the size of a small pillow. It looked pretty big, held by a short person like Maria and Ange, but it probably wasn't that large. From the perspective of someone who didn't know better, it would probably look like something she bought from a department store or something. But to Maria and Ange, it was her mother's handmade stuffed animal, the only one of its kind in the world, and irreplaceable.
Sakutarou! Sakutarou! かわいい。すっごくかわいい。ママありがとう。お仕事で忙しいのに、こんなにかわいいぬいぐるみを作ってくれて、本当にありがとう。
そんなに褒められると、かえって恥ずかしいわ。全然時間が取れなくて、大したものを作れなかったの。本当は、抱えきれないくらい大きなのを作るつもりだったのにね。
これでいい。このくらいの大きさならいつも一緒にいられるもん。一緒にお出かけできるもん。サクタロウ、お姉ちゃんだよ。ふりゅー。本当に可愛らしいぬいぐるみね。この子がマリアお姉ちゃんの一番のお友達のサクタロウなのね。学校には一緒に行けないけど、お家ではいつも一緒にいる一番のお友達なの。サクタロウはね、とっても無垢で可愛らしくて、そしていつもマリアに優しくしてくれるの。マリアに元気がない時には励ましてくれて、マリアが元気な時は一緒にいっぱい遊んでくれるの。だからマリアはもう寂しくなんかない。ママが仕事で忙しくて一人ぼっちでも寂しくないし、学校で誰も遊んでくれなくても全然寂しくないの。ねえ、サクタロウ、ふりゅー。
At school, Maria and Ange was in a similar circumstances to me. Compared to the other kids in her class, Maria and Ange's tempo was always a beat too slow. Her impressionability and way of thinking about things were a little peculiar, and she was a little too idiosyncratic to blend in with them. Her grades were low as well, and yet she was talkative when it came to her specialist field of the occult, which led her to being treated like a weirdo by everyone else in the class. If she touches you, you'll be cursed, stuff like that. Everyone in the class acted like she was gross, made fun of her, and avoided her, it seems. Boys who bumped into Maria and Ange would start wiping that part of them off against the other boys as if they'd gotten something dirty on them. They would pick up her stuff between pinched fingers like it was something filthy and chase the other boys around with it. As for the girls, they appeared to find even speaking to her unpleasant. They ignored her completely, giggling and sneering at her whenever she made a mistake. Yeah, kids can be mean.
人間ってほんと進化しないの。滅べばいいのに。マリアはいじめられて悲しいけど、でも仕方ないと思うの。仕方ない？どうして？だってクラスには一人いじめられっ子がいないといけないってルールなんだもん。
Who put that rule up?
最低なルールね。それを作ったやつの後頭部をレンガで殴ってやりたいわ。もちろん角で。もしもマリアがいなくなったら、きっとマリアの代わりに新しい誰かが新しいいじめられっ子に選ばれる。マリアが我慢することで、マリアはその子をかばってあげられるの。
As she said that, she smiled faintly. Maria and Ange's way of thinking really is unusual. According to her, there is always a witch residing in that place called school. No, she says that anywhere that a lot of people gather will most certainly have a witch residing there. The witch tries to make the students perish by disease or accident so that she can steal their souls. She sometimes also corrupts the souls, leading them down a path of evil. Maria and Ange told me that an angel came, not content to let that happen. 天使様はね、魔女をやっつけようとした。でも魔女は兄弟で、戦いは7日7番に及んだんだけど、それでも決着しなかった。 I'd like to know where she got that story from, or if she made it up herself.
疲れ切った魔女は休戦しようと言ってこう提案したの。前に聞いたわ。私はこれまでクラスの生徒の半分を病気にしたり、怪我をさせたりしてきました。でもその代わりに残りの半分の生徒は病気と怪我から守ってきました。だから、もしもクラスの一人を私への生贄にいじめられっ子にしてくれるなら、その他全員の生徒を病気や怪我から守りましょう。だったっけ？おう、天使様は考えたの。クラスの半分が不幸になることに比べたら、クラスの一人だけが不幸になることの方がずっといい。それに、魔女はその強力な力で他全員の生徒の安全を守ってくれるという。クラスに40人の生徒がいるとして、20人の犠牲者が1人に減って、19人が助かるというわけね。実に合理的な提案。
I wonder if this fairy tale has some kind of motive. If it's a creation of Maria and Ange, a 9-year-old girl, that would be pretty impressive.
天使様はその提案を飲むことにした。だから、一人の生贄によって19人は救われた。だから、マリアの役割は大切なの。
So you're to be the social pariah?
魔女は19人を守ってる。私たちが生贄になることによってその19人に感謝された覚えはないけれど。
Maria and Ange's thinking is too compassionate. The miserableness of our situation is very similar. And yet, there's a difference in our inner peace, just because of the small difference in our way of thinking.
それで、マリアお姉ちゃんは悲しくないの？悲しくなんかないよ。だって、これからはサクタロが一緒だもん。ね、サクタロ。ウィリアン、マリアと一緒なら僕も元気。ほら、サクタロも元気って言ってるよ。
Maria and Ange held up Sakutarou's stuffed animal, playing both sides of the conversation herself. I don't understand. That's exactly why I want to reach Maria and Ange's level. It's what makes me so strongly interested in her tale and her words.
エンジェは、一人ぼっちだから辛い？辛いわ。でも、マリアお姉ちゃんとこうしていられる時間だけは別。一人ぼっちじゃないから。なら、サクタラもお友達になれば、もっと楽しくなるよ。うん。じゃあ今日から、サクタロもエンジェの新しいお友達だよ。ね、サクタロ。フリュー？僕、エンジェのお友達？フリュー！エンジェ！
Skillfully moving the stuffed animal like it was a puppet, Maria and Ange made Sakutarou emote. She was controlling him, but the charming way he waved his short hand and cocked his head to the side made it feel like he really was a new friend called Sakutarou. Of course, if you were to look at it with cold eyes, you would only see Maria and Ange comforting mopey old me with a stuffed animal. But that stuffed animal had definitely been imbued with a soul. The soul of Maria and Ange's love. So I accepted the existence of a being called Sakutarou inside that stuffed animal.
ほら、エンジェもサクタロに挨拶して。ほら、サクタロもご挨拶。フリュー？エンジェ、怖い人？
As Sakutarou timidly looked at me, he unexpectedly met my gaze and hid behind Maria and Ange's back in surprise. Maria and Ange really is good at playing with stuffed animals.
大丈夫だよ、サクタロ。エンジェは怖くないよ。とっても優しい女の子だよ。どうも、サクタロウです。
I want Sakutarou to be the new main of this series.
ウリュー。はじめまして、サクタロウ。エンジェよ。新しいお友達になれて嬉しいわ。
I held out my right hand as though asking for a handshake, and Sakutarou's short hand was stuck out towards me and lightly touched my index finger. After all, the size is all wrong for a handshake between a human and a stuffed animal. This greeting by touching each other's fingers was our handshake.
これでもう、エンジェとサクタロはお友達だよ。一人よりは二人、二人よりは三人の方がもっと楽しいよ。うりゅー！
Maria and Ange had given the name Sakutarou to the stuffed animal she was going to receive on her birthday, and had warmed and expanded his existence in her heart for a long, long time. Therefore, even before she had met him, his existence had been sublimated into a personality. From the very first moment they met, the two of them were already friends. Of course, I don't think anything could be personified in love as Sakutarou was, but that wasn't anything extraordinary in Maria and Ange's eyes. She loved the things she owned very much, treating them just like friends or beloved pets. Maybe it was partly that Auntie Rosa hadn't let her keep a pet. Or maybe just her innate desire to treat things as though they were precious. Maybe it was that she was so isolated she had been forced to find friends closer to home. Because of all those various circumstances, this wasn't anything extraordinary from her perspective. Yet even so, Sakutarou. No, maybe I should call him Sakutarou like Maria and Nechan. It was certain that Sakutarou was a stuffed animal. No, a friend, who was more loved than anything or anyone.
もしもし、ママよ。上機嫌ね。お友達が来てるの？
サクタロと遊んでるの。サクタロったらね。
It was already past 9 at night. Rosa had asked out of surprise since this wasn't an appropriate time for a friend to be over. But when she thought about it, Maria didn't have any friends who would come over to play, did she? Even so, to think that she would have so much fun playing with that stuffed animal, Rosa was very pleased that Maria had liked their birthday present so much.
ごめんね。ママ、どうしても仕事が片付かなくて、来期のラインナップが難航してるの。ようやく少しずつ注目され始めたみたいで、なんとかここで期待に応えられるインパクトを与えたいのよ。
今夜もお泊まり？いいよ。
Alright guys, I'm gonna end the video here for today. Thank you all for watching. I'm definitely liking the differences in how they're handling the beginning of this episode. Now we're getting insights into both Ange and now Maria as well. Like, I thought we were done with learning about Maria. Nope, there's still more to go. So if anything else, I'm going to continue on in the next one.